So let's go over this match. A lot of expectation for this game because previously Spain had lost against Colombia 1-0. So the idea was to see how they were going to react against Brazil. For Brazil, on the other hand, it was another test because honestly, the game against England was not the best performance for them. So a lot of expectations, and I really wanted to see this game, even though there were a lot of games at the same time. So let's go over the highlights. Um, First, Spain. They had a four in the back, two in the middle, three midfielders, and one attacking player. Um, Surprisingly, a new formation, a brand new 11. Simon instead of Raya. Laporte, well, Laporte was the only one who actually got to play again. Cucurella, Normat, Carvajal. Carvajal had a good game. I would say that he really take care of. He really took care of Vinicius and Rodrygo on the left side. He, yeah. Um, Rodri really good, and he scored two goals, so he couldn't be happier. Ruiz, I think he played very well for about 50 or 60 minutes. After that, I saw him tired, and I think he should have left by that point, but he didn't. Olmo, he scored a really nice goal, a Brazilian style goal. I think it was really nice. Nico Williams and Yamal, very good on the wings. That was the key to me. It was how they opened the field, and they always were beating Danilo and Bendel. Their their 1-to-1, their 1v1 duels. It was really good for both of them. But Yamal, obviously Yamal, he was the man of the match. He was involved in every single goal, and just to be 16, 17 years old, really good. Morata, he did what he could. I don't think he did much, but he's always a fighter in the box. On the Brazilian side, it's a completely different story than the Spaniards. The Brazilians, they had the same starting 11 as the game with England. So I think they just wanted to prove that they could play better. Um, yeah, same goalkeeper. I would say the defense didn't have the best game because, like I said, Yamal and Williams really destroyed them on the sides. Yeah, and then when Olmo went through the middle, they just didn't have a good game. Paqueta, I would say, very good game. Guimaraes, not so good as he sometimes does for Newcastle. Gomez, I, I think it's a really poor game for him. Even in the first play of the game, he made a foul on Yamal just 15 seconds into the game. No, and then he made a penalty on Yamal, so not a good game for him. Rafinha, not a good game for him either. I didn't see any action on his wing. He was mostly focusing on defending, or he didn't make any runs, in my perspective. Rodrygo, I think he had a good game. Not so good, but just pick more from the number 10 Brazilian. And Vinicius, he did what he could, but he was just arguing a lot with everybody, honestly. But he did what he could. He was involved in some dangerous counterattacks. So let's go over it. The formations, like I said, it was for Spain. It was a 4-2-3-1 in paper, because when they were defending, it was pretty much the same formation, with probably a 4-4-2 when they were defending, something like that. But when they were attacking, as Spain, and they've been doing it for a couple of years now, um, they leave two in the back. The wings go all the way up, and it's mostly like I would say it's more like a four. It's like a 2-2-1-5. It's a lot of attacking, but they cover all the areas well. whenever whenever the balls bounce back or the Brazilians are trying to get out, they cover every single area. So it was really hard for Brazil, at least for the first 30 minutes. I didn't see much of the Brazilian guys. Um, yeah, on the Brazilian side, it was a 4-3-3, but when they were defending, it was more like a 4-5-1 with Rodrygo doing most of the running, trying to do some pressure, high pressure in the beginning of the game, which didn't really work. When Brazil was attacking, it was more like a 4-4-4-2. And obviously, most of the attacking on the Brazilian side goes on Vinicius' side because he's always attacking the back. But like I said, Carvajal contained him really well. But throughout the game, they made a couple of changes, and which it was a good tactical movement from their coach, Junior. So if we talk about the first goal, it was just something when even though at the very beginning Spain had the ball for like 30 minutes, the ones that were shining on the game were Yamal and Williams. They were winning their battles on the sides, and with Cucurella and Carvajal running behind them, it was really easy for the Spaniards to get into the box. And that's how the first goal happened. Because when Yamal is in the box, Mendel can hold him. So Yamal passes through, then Gomez comes from the back and makes a penalty on him. And really, I I think it's the just the talent that Yamal has. It's just that's what happened. He really solved the game for the Spaniards at the beginning of the game, and then of course, um, Rodri took the penalty and he scored the first goal. So it was just a penalty, super easy for him, nothing to do for the goalkeeper, and it was a goal. Um, then I would say, like I said, the Brazilian team surprisingly didn't do much. They were just trying to counterattack, but they couldn't, they couldn't make it work. Um, when the first half was over, it was surprising to see that the Brazilian team they didn't have any corner kicks and barely any shots on goal. It was a lot of Spain. Spain had the ball, is more passes, more accuracy, more ball possession. It was all Spain in the first half. But in the second goal for the Spaniard, the second goal that they scored was an almost excellent play in the box. He went through four players and he just did some excellent play in the box, and then when he shoot, nothing to do for the goalkeeper, honestly. So it was just all Olmo on that one. Well, Yamal gave him the pass, but gave him the assist, but it was all Olmo. And then when actually Brazil was not doing much, just a lot of high pressure, like I said before, a lot of Rodrygo high pressure and Vinicius. Rafinha not so much. He was holding back in the midfield. Rodrygo was pressuring, and Unai Simon once again made a mistake, trying to find Olmo. Actually, I think it was or Ruiz. I don't remember, but then Rodrygo finds the ball, then he shoots over the goalkeeper. Really nice goal, and of course Rodrygo knows how to play in the Bernabeu, so no issues there. So that was by that point it was 2-1, and that's when the first half ended. And to be honest, I was a little worried about the Brazilians because I didn't see much football, much that they've done in the previous years with other kind of players. But then in the second half, the coach Junior with a lot of interesting substitutions. For instance, the first one that got out was Rafinha. He got out, Henry came in. Then Jan Kotok left for the he came in for Danilo. Then Andre came for Guimaraes, and the last one was Gomez left and Pereira came in. But these had a tactical change, which I think worked out perfectly because now Brazil was gonna play a four in the back, two in the middle, and one and three in the front, something like this. I would say I would say 4-2-3-1 because Hendrik was a little higher. These guys were a little lower like that. But this was interesting because now Brazil had a diamond here. Uh, well, they were able to have more like a triangle, I should say here. But let me just remove that. So these guys, now they did enough to cover these other guys here in the middle. Oh, right? So Olmo, Ruiz, and Rodri didn't have it as easy now because these guys were covering. So it was a very similar formation. And I must say, Pereira was covering Olmo pretty much, marking him all the time. Paqueta was on Ruiz, and Andre was supposed to be on Rodri, but that didn't happen as much. But they moved a lot, so it was really good. It was really good because Hendrik, also his first time in the Bernabeu, as he's gonna play for Real Madrid, but he did really well. And as soon as he got a chance in the 50th minute from a corner kick, he just found the ball in the middle of the box, and then there was a deflection on Norman, but that was his first goal in the Bernabeu. So it was really at the time it was 2-2, but Brazil was playing way better, and Spain just lost the ball in the second half. Nico Williams, he wasn't the same. He wasn't the same player. He wasn't finding the back of Quoto, even though he tried. Cucurella, he didn't match that either. So, but Spain relied a lot on Yamal, and Yamal, no nervousness, nothing at all. He knew what he was doing, and yeah, Andre tried, Pereira tried. Well, Pereira was higher, but these guys kept trying, and Yamal just did his little dance on their third. It was really nice to see, like good what he always does for Barca. It was good to see that doing it for the Spaniard, for the Spanish team, for the Spanish, for the Spaniard national team. Um, so yeah, that was Brazil formation for the second half, and that's how the 2-2 happened. Then, if we talk about the 3-2, when Spain scored the goal, I think it was probably 85 minute. It was a penalty on Carvajal, which honestly I don't think it was a penalty. If there was bar, probably it was a really soft penalty. If there was bar, VAR, I don't think they would have retracted it. But anyway, so they didn't have bar, VAR at the game, so Rodri took it again and he scored the 3-2. But then when the game was ending, that's when the Spanish team just made a lot of changes, which I think was just for players just to come in and feel what's to play. For some of them were really really young. Um, And then let me see. Brazil also made a change here. Oh, Vinicius left for David Luiz, who plays for Aston Villa, and Galena, he came in for Rodrygo. So this had another tactical change because now Brazil was playing a 4-4-2 with Paqueta actually playing on the left. That was something like this. But I've never seen Pereira playing as a wing, so he didn't actually go up as much. There wasn't any time anyway. But when this happened, Galeno was just in the box, and Carvajal, he tried to stop him, and then he grabbed his foot, and that was an obvious penalty kick, to be honest. And that's when Paqueta just no nervousness at all. He just shoot, and he scored was the 3-3 at the last minute of the game. A good game. I really liked it. I think Yamal was the obvious man of the match. If we talk about the penalty kicks, I don't think the first penalty kick for Spain, the penalty kick on Yamal was a penalty. I think it was too soft. Maybe it could have been called. It's hard to tell. But I think the last penalty on Dani Carvajal, I don't think it was a penalty. But overall, I really liked it. I like how the Spaniards just have two teams, two really good teams, and Yamal really shining. Um, well, a lot to improve from Brazil, I should say. Or hopefully, when Neymar comes back, he can improve this talent because Neymar is a lot of influence in the middle, Vinicius on the left, and hopefully Rafinha improves on the right. We'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching.